So a couple months ago, I'd already knocked any of the old gasket making material off. So it's been clean for a while. And this right here is a rubber seal. Don't forget to replace this, because otherwise your water starts leaking into the back of the pan into your oil. So don't forget to replace this seal here. And then I use the Ultra Black Permatex. That's what I've got on hand, and it does the job. So we just stay at a nice speed following this pattern here. So it basically tells you where to put your gasket maker at. So you just gotta follow the line and have a decently steady hand. Just use your other hand as a guide. I'm pressing fairly firmly on the actual cover itself with my other hand. It just helps a little. Okay guys, so what we've got now is I've got the Ultra Black Permatex with using the applicator, and I put that tip of the applicator once it's ready to go, and it will kind of fit really good into this groove that's designed into the the timing cover itself. And so I just set that tip in that groove and press my trigger and held down for the pressure to come out, and just slowly follow that exact groove through there. It makes for a little bit more centered line of your bead there. And secondarily, I have the back side of the water pump gasket that's a rubber gasket, and it goes right in here, and that mounts to right here. You can see the old outline of the gasket itself. Don't forget that gasket. Go ahead and replace it now. If not, water will come to those jackets and get into your oil. Let's see. So last thing I had to prepare for is the installation. So not let this dry too quick while just sitting out in the open. But I did get my design of the bolts where they go, and also the torque specifications for them. So you have M6 bolts, metric, 6mm, 8s, and 12s. And then I have the bolts pre-arranged as best as possible from when I removed them. This being the top of the cover, the sides of the cover, the middle of the cover. I have the 3 bottom ones on the ground already, ready to put on. So that being said, we can go forward from here and install our cover. I did put a small amount of gasket maker on where these bolts tie down. It probably doesn't matter since the oil is going to stay with this cover anyway, but I put it on there just in case, because I didn't look at it to see if that was a necessary spot. So there are some different tabs coming out here and here, and they'll just sit right into the probably the cylinder, no, actually into the maybe cylinder head or block, and it'll allow for you to line it up. So just some of the lining tabs there. I do need to take off the 19 millimeter on the timing cover as well. Okay. See right there on my tab. Okay, that tab's in and that tab's in. Wish I had my little mallet, but I don't. There we go. It's kind of dusty. It's been sitting in the garage for a while. Okay. So new crank seal on. Got the back side of the water pump housing ready. So here's my 3 lower bolts. So first I'm going to just put them in slightly, and then come over here and do my best to get all these other ones in the right spots. Looks like there's 2 small, let's be the M6s, looks like. It's probably right here. Yeah, M6s. Alright. Now I have these in 2 different these 4 are centered, but in 4 different in 2 different orientations. So I had 4 in this position and 2 in this position. So I probably did that for a reason. Now to figure out what that reason is. Okay, so 2 and 4. What is it? Probably 2. So these small ones are the water pump bolts. Now these here, there's 4 here. I wonder if it's these 4, probably. And then I've got 2 as well, which could go here and here. We'll try that first. So on these 4, there's definitely 4 long ones and 1 short one. Okay, that's good. That feels right. Make sure that's in the bottoming out or not. So those are correct. Now this one, that bottoms out without hitting any threads. That bottoms out without hitting threads. That fit. Too long. That could be a possibility. That feels accurate. That feels good right there. And it was one of the center ones. So I got these two longer ones. So here and here. All right, that seems good. Now I have 4 over here that are on my left side. So I'm going to follow the pattern on the left side of my valve cover. I guess now I'm changing that, which should be the right side, but just gonna follow these on the edges of the cover. Okay, then I see a similar pattern, but on the right side. So I've got 2 over here on the right side on my drawer of the toolbox. Okay, and the only ones I have left that aren't related to a what do they call them, the BBT or anything of that nature, or any sensors, are just 4 bolts. That's all I've got left here. All right, let's see. That one took one of the little sleeves out with it. All right, so these were supposed to be towards the top. You can tell that was a water pump bolt. Had some water on it, got a little rust in the bottom. And then there's one large bolt, the N12, which I guess will fit here. All right, looks right. And then the 3 remaining spaces look like here, here, and here, because they're both in this direction. So put these in here. This one has the missing little sleeves. So that will go back here. And last, and thankfully least of the mounting cover bolts is right here. Okay, that wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be. I thought I was in for a little bit of trouble there for a while. We got 13s. Definitely not a 13. Down here are 13s. Okay. What I'll do then to make this a little bit faster on my end, but like I said, I'm still sticking with hand tools, is I would prefer to use a 1/4 inch with, it has a lot of like a 90 tooth to spin pretty quickly. And then we'll go just a quick tighten out of all these. I'll speed through this in the film. That doesn't look right, I don't think. Let's do some down here. front cover bolt, M6 is 11 foot-pounds. Engine front cover studs are 11 foot-pound. So I'm thinking these are 11 pound, and I'm guessing this is 11 pound. Essentially like right where it's on the plate and not have this huge bulkhead. It would probably be the 11 pound. Okay, 10 millimeter. Okay. It's high 10s. And let's look at doing the 13, I believe. 13. This one probably is just the, I'm going to play a safe bet, safe guess that this is the other one. The other one I'm referring to, that's 11 pounds. Since it could potentially crack that cover. Alright, and the rest, so we have M8s, which will go to a first pass of 14 foot-pounds. Okay. I mean, you could probably just go all the way around, or if you're really good, and you can cross and just decide on a cross pattern that you can remember pretty easily. So 14. I don't even know if you have to do it in a cross pattern, honestly. You may not have to. May not be it. Okay. Battery went low here, so did all the top ones at 14. I'm just gonna go. Okay, so I've used the torque wrench to do all the should be 8 millimeter M8 bolts. We did the 14 pounds torque on all these outer bolts. Tried to do it in a cross pattern, doesn't say one or the other, and then it wants you to go back over one more time, which I did. It takes a lot of time in the video. These 2 bolts and this 1 bolt that just has the cover supporting it is going to be 11 pounds one time. There's no more second passes. I'm on the last torque setting, which is 48 pounds for the front cover bolt, the main bolt. It's a M12, which is a 19 millimeter socket. So 48. So after you go around on the M8s, you use a third final pass, the third and final pass. So you 14 foot-pound torque setting on all the M8s, and then you go back around and do a 14 again, just to make sure they're all snug and not haven't got off balance as far as the torque settings from going one side to the other. And once they're all even, then it has you do a 60-degree turn with your torque wrench. This one has the degrees on here, set it on here, and I just set it and did all 60 degrees, a final turn, and it's a fair amount of torque. So didn't have any bolts or any cracking in the cover, so I must have did that correct without any complications. Down. Water pump bolts are 3 sequences. So we need to set up for that. And you may have a metal gasket with a little bit of silicone, or I'm gonna go and put my Velcro on here. I got my kit. So you could dab a little bit of gasket just to hold it on there, but I don't think we're gonna have an issue at all. And we'll need the new bolts. Mostly your bolts will probably end up rusty, just like these were, that were right around the pump itself. So we'll just start threading a few of these in there. Do the top bolt first, and then the bottom one next. In 10 millimeters. We need a slide extension. And then we will look at our sequence. So to have a sequence as well as the change in torque. All right, we're looking at inch pounds. Inch pounds. Let me switch over. Anytime this goes through a rotation where you're clicking through the settings on this particular one, as far as I can tell, when it gets to the degrees settings, it makes you set it down to recalibrate it, even if that's not what you're choosing. All right, so I'm in inch pounds now. Go down to 89. And this one, starting point is around that actually. 66, 85, 87, 88. Okay. All right, we're just going to 89. And number 2 is the lower bottom bolt. 3, 9 o'clock bolt. 4, about 4 o'clock on the bolt. On a timestamp clock. All right. 5. It's about 6, 7 o'clock position. 8 o'clock. Okay, and then 6. So last bolt. Up in the 2 o'clock position. Okay, now repeat a second pass. Top, bottom, 9 o'clock, about 4 o'clock, and we're going to 7, 6 o'clock, 7 probably, 8, and 3 o'clock. All right, so they're all fairly tightened down to the proper torque. Now we are going over to the 45 degrees. Switch to function, foot pound, kilograms, centimeters, something. Let me clear that out. All right, here we go. Degrees. It's set on 60 degrees. I just need to go 45. .45 degrees in the same sequence. Final pass. So if it starts at 45, we're going to go to 90. Let's see. No, it'll start at 0. 45. Okay. So this one, I don't know how to have it reset at 0. So I just add 45 every time. So now I'm going to go up to 90. If that makes sense to y'all. Now it starts at 46, so you go 91. Okay, so essentially 90. We got to go 45 more, so 135 on bolt 3. 135. That's loud. All right, bolt 4. So we need to go 45 more from 135 is 180. 180 is our next number we're going to go to. A little bit over. Let's do 5. And we need 45 plus 180, so 125. 225. All right, and last but not least, we'll go to 270. 270. Which sounds about right. I think 270 divided by 6 should be 45. All right. Install a water pump pulley. I don't know if I have my water pump pulley here with me. I do have some of my parts up at business. And not everything is in the shop right here. But we are done with the majority of this. I mean, the pulley itself, putting it on there, is just loosely install it, and if you want to use a water pump pulley tool to hold them while you tighten them, you can. Honestly, I typically go close to this 89 with just holding it with just about anything. It's not that difficult to go to 89 inch-pound. See how easy that was. Or you can just use your Milwaukee drill if you want. So 89 inch-pound on those. I'm just saving that. Then we have the VVT solenoid replacements. From what I can tell, they all look the same. Have the same item number. Should be sealed and oiled. They are. Looks like there's no bolt in here, so I'll go to the drawer. There we go. Grabbing these bolts. Not the prettiest bolt, that's for sure. Set that down there. Done with that. Let's see. Trash can there. All right. First installation. We have to look at where this screw will mount. Should be right here. Should be nice and tight. Give it a little push. Look on this side, you can see on this side how it comes through the back side of the cylinder head just a little bit. I'll get the torque specs on these. I'll do all these torques at the same time. Right, got a couple more here. Our torque specs, looks like the 10 millimeter. 80 inch-pound. And that's all it says. So 80 inch-pound. We're almost at that setting anyway. Actually, I think we were last on the degree setting. All right. 80 inch-pound. Always double check, make sure you're on inch-pound. Doesn't matter if you're on if you're tightening down something that's high, heavy foot-pound, you accidentally do inch-pound, but the opposite way, and you'll be sorry. You'll break a bolt or a valve cover in this case, probably. 80. Done. 80. 2 more. Okay, and I'm going to go ahead and put these cam sensors in. Try to kind of finish out. Okay, so the last I'm going to do for this specific video is go ahead and install these cam sensors. I mean, at this point with the new build, I kind of wish I got a new sensor, but I guess it will throw a code pretty quick if it's a bad sensor. But when you install a bunch of new stuff on a car, it's hard putting old stuff on there too. Just like this valve, I mean, just like this cover. I really wish I would have cleaned it. However, as much as I would like it to look good, it just got left behind in the whole process, and then it's going to be completely covered up because I use the engine bay covers and then the piping from the intercooler. Like, you can't see this valve. I mean, I was going to say valve cover. You can't see this timing cover, front cover at all. When you look under the hood.